In the silent darkness of an ancient cavern, just before dawn, the flicker of torchlight dances across stone walls that have not known human eyes for thousands of years. And there, half buried beneath centuries of dust and debris, lies an object that challenges everything we thought we understood about human history. From the moment those first trembling fingertips brushed the surface of that artifact, an unsettling truth echoed across the world. The past is far stranger, far deeper than we ever dared imagine. This is the story of 15 mysterious artifacts discovered or re-examined by scientists by the year 2025. Each one a riddle carved into time, each one a haunting reminder that some doors into history may never be closed. Our journey begins with the so-called Iron Wall of the Urashima Caves, a flawless ring carved from a metal unknown to modern metallurgy, complete with intricate markings that match no alphabet or symbol system we recognize. When labs analyzed its composition, they found isotopes not present in any terrestrial ore known, a discovery so insane that geologists and astronomers alike suggested only one possibility. This metal, forged and smoothed to perfection, must have originated somewhere beyond Earth's crust. Next, we traversed the sun-bleached desert of Lashkar, where archaeologists unearthed a slab of what seems like weathered sandstone, but etched in its surface, almost invisible to the naked eye, was a map. Not of rivers or mountains, but of star systems. And when astrophysicists overlaid those markings with modern star charts, they realized with chilling clarity that the arrangement mirrored a cluster of stars long believed to have burned out thousands of years ago. Who carved it? Where did they look when they lifted their heads and saw the sky? We may never know. From there, our story swoops across continents, to the jungles of the Amazon, where explorers discovered a hollow obsidian sphere, smooth as polished glass, etched with swirling glyphs that radiated faint pulses when exposed to moonlight. Instrumentation later confirmed that those pulses were not random. They matched the frequency of certain Earth vibrations tied to seismic events, as though the sphere was reacting to some deep, primal rumble beneath the crust. Why build a tool to sense tremors in a time when no such thing was known to exist? Farther still, in the icy wastes of Siberia, researchers reopening a permafrost ice pit uncovered a small wooden box, sealed shut with resin, that had preserved everything, even the faint scent of sandalwood. Inside lay a crystalline lens, curved and flawless, that magnified objects at a clarity rivaling modern microscopes. Tests showed no scratches, no wear, no defects, as though the craftsman had forged it yesterday. And when physicists examined its refractive properties, they realized it bent light in a way that no glass or crystal known to science should be able to, suggesting a mastery of optics far ahead of its supposed age. To the south, in the coastal ruins of an ancient Mediterranean port, underwater archaeologists recovered a bronze cylinder sealed tight, its surface encrusted with centuries of barnacles. When they finally pried it open, inside lay a parchment, curled, brittle, yet preserving words written in a script that combined runes, hieroglyphs, and a yet undeciphered sign language. Linguists tried for years to unlock its secrets, only to find patterns that defied classification, as if the language itself belonged to an extinct species of human, or even non-human intelligence. Each crack of the scroll seemed to whisper, "We were here, and we spoke, but we are gone." Meanwhile, on the remote island of Rapa Nui, near the monumental heads forever gazing inland, an off-grid expedition uncovered a set of tablets carved from volcanic rock. But unlike any known carvings of the island, these bore detailed schematics, almost engineer-like, of mechanisms for levitation, intricate with gears and counterweights, annotated with measurements using symbols not part of any known Rapa Nui or Polynesian system. Mechanical engineers examining 3D scans of these tablets concluded that the diagrams depicted devices far beyond what manual pulleys could achieve, perhaps even methods to harness gravity. If that interpretation were even slightly correct, it would shatter our assumptions about prehistoric engineering. Across the Atlantic, deep within an unassuming cave beneath the Appalachian Highlands, speleologists discovered a stone monolith carved like a human figure, but not like any figure carved by Native American artisans. Its design matched no tribal aesthetics, its size dwarfing anything found in the region, and its resemblance to neither human nor animal sparked debate. Some proposed it was a depiction of a kind of being completely alien in origin. Radiocarbon dating of nearby charcoal revealed it had to be older than 12,000 years, far predating any known civilization in the Americas. Meanwhile, on the Asian steppe near the Altai Mountains, nomadic archaeologists unearthed a horse harness made of leather, so perfectly preserved it looked new, but stamped on its surface was an insignia, an 8-pointed spiral surrounded by concentric circles, identical to a symbol found engraved inside the Bronze Age Sun Temple at Göbekli Tepe. Could there have been a forgotten culture, spreading across continents, leaving the same mark from Central Asia to the Americas, to the Pacific Islands? The possibility sent ripples through anthropology, challenging migration theories that have stood unchallenged for decades. Meanwhile, hidden beneath layers of ash from a volcanic eruption that wiped out a lost civilization in Southeast Asia, divers discovered an amphora glass bottle containing a viscous black liquid that refused to flow, even after centuries. Chemical analysis revealed molecules that bore resemblance to crude oil compounds, but with molecular bonds unknown to petrochemistry. Could these be droplets of primordial earth oil, trapped since a time before organic life as we know it? Or remnants of some unnatural technology, lost to time? As the world reeled from these revelations, scientists in Europe reopened a vault of ancient manuscripts from a monastery long declared abandoned. Inside, they found a leather-bound codex, its pages shimmering with a silvery ink that glowed faintly when exposed to ultraviolet light. The text alone ran for hundreds of pages, recounting voyages across seas and skies, describing encounters with beings with skin like starlight and voices like wind through crystals, stories that many dismissed as myth. But then radiocarbon dating and ink analysis revealed the codex dated back to the 4th century BCE, centuries before any known culture recorded such astronomical voyages. The possibility that this codex preserved shreds of oral traditions of lost cosmic travelers terrified even the most skeptical historians. In the deserts of North Africa, geologists uncovered what they initially thought was a meteorite, a black pockmarked mass, but on closer inspection discovered it was hollow inside, housing within it a cluster of tiny spheres, each etched with dozens of symbols and arranged in rotational symmetry. One sphere glowed when heated, another emitted low-frequency hums, another resonated with electromagnetic fields. The hollow shell itself bore glyphs of a star map, but the sphere constellation didn't match any star chart, terrestrial or otherwise. This artifact within a meteorite, later nicknamed the Celestial Ocarina, became the most perplexing astronomical find in human history. And as if that was not enough, on the Indonesian island of Sulawesi, cave painters long believed to depict prehistoric life were re-examined under enhanced ultraviolet spectral imaging. And beneath the primitive handprints, archaeologists discovered a series of swirling patterns and diagrams showing detailed anatomical drawings of creatures unknown to paleontology. Long-necked beings, creatures with multiple limbs, winged humanoids, rendered with a precision and consistency that spoke of knowledge far beyond what Stone Age artists should have possessed. The age of the cave paintings, carbon dated to over 40,000 years old, made this revelation even more disquieting. Did these paintings record mythic beasts or distant visitors? Meanwhile, across the seas, in Arctic waters near Greenland, sonar scans discovered a hulking object buried deep beneath centuries of ice. When submersibles finally descended, they found an enormous collapse-resistant structure, tiled with hexagonal plates and radiating a faint magnetic field. Inside lay chambers, corridors, and a central atrium, a submerged megalithic building whose architectural style matched nothing in Inuit, Norse, or any known prehistoric culture in the region. The sheer size and complexity of the structure caused a wave of speculation. Was this a sunken city built by a forgotten civilization, perhaps predating the earliest seafaring cultures we know? The artifact assemblage continued, each discovery more baffling than the last. A set of carved stones in the deserts of Mongolia that, when aligned under the light of the full moon, cast shadows forming constellations never seen from Earth. A polished black mirror recovered from a tomb in the Andes that, when exposed to candlelight and precisely tilted, revealed within its surface flickering images reminiscent of unknown landscapes hundreds of miles away. Images that changed each time the mirror was moved slightly, as though it didn't reflect but projected memories of distant places. And then there was the so-called pulse disk found embedded in glacial ice in Antarctica. A round disk of unknown alloy embedded with cryptic geometric patterns that emitted a regular pulse, one pulse every 13.8 seconds, the same length of time as the oscillation period of a certain type of known cosmic ray decay. The alignment was too precise to be coincidence. With each passing year, as labs around the world attempted to decode the origins of these 15 astonishing relics, scientists were forced to expand their definitions of history, of human capability, even of life itself. Universities convened emergency conferences. Logbooks filled with frantic notes. Data poured in. Isotope charts, spectrum analyses, radiocarbon dates, all lining up to one terrible possibility. That somewhere, in the remote reaches of time and space, a civilization existed that defied every categorization we have. Neither Sumerian nor Egyptian, neither Aztec nor Indus, but something older, stranger, and more advanced than anything our textbooks recount. This civilization may have traversed oceans before ships were invented, sailed the skies before wings were crafted, and carved mirrors that captured memories before cameras even existed. The weight of that knowledge bore down on contemporary humanity with an almost physical force, reshaping not only the way we think about our ancestors, but our place in the cosmos. Interviews with descendants of indigenous peoples, those whose oral histories spoke of sky travelers and metal gods, suddenly took on new urgency. Elders who had dismissed those legends as superstition now stared at photographs of the Iron Wall or the celestial ocarina with wide, unblinking eyes, whispering names they had never dared speak in decades. Museum corridors, once hushed and reverent, buzzed with nervous excitement. Labs flickered with lights as researchers stayed up days, even weeks, poring over data, repeating experiments, triple-checking radiocarbon ages, cross-referencing geological contexts, enclave after enclave of data, refusing to align with any known cultural timeline. The public watched, in awe, as media outlets, once skeptical, once cautious, began to call these artifacts the greatest archaeological mystery of the 21st century, as though we were living in the plot of a mythic tale, not the sober confines of science. But no matter how much breathless speculation filled newspapers and social media, no theory could yet fully explain the artifacts. Not how they appeared in deserts and jungles, on islands and ice flows, across continents separated by oceans and eons. Each seemed to come from a different place, a different material, a different culture, yet all shared something intangible, a pattern, an eerie sophistication, an uncanny consistency of mastery over light, metal, mathematics, and maybe even the mind. And as laboratories closed for the night, their instruments silent for a rare moment, the evidence glowed quietly in display cases, waiting for the day when someone could finally whisper the truth aloud. We are not the first. The world before us may have been unimaginably vast and astonishing, filled with beings who gazed upon the same stars we now chart, who carved tools to catch light, to map the sky, to hear Earth whisper its tremors, to reflect places beyond their horizon. And as we gather around those artifacts, the iron whorl, the star map slab, the obsidian sphere, the crystal lens, the thunder amphora, the celestial ocarina, the Atlantean mirror, the pulse disk, the lunar tablets of Rapa Nui, the subterranean monolith in Appalachia, the Arctic sunken hole of Greenland, the steppe harness of Göbekli Echo, the Sulawesi cave scrolls, the Andes glass mirror of visions, and the Mongolian stones that align with moonlight constellations. We must do more than speculate. We must listen. We must accept that every artifact is a voice from a world long vanished, a world where imagination, technology, and mystery were woven together into tools and tales that defy our understanding. This documentary is our attempt to gather those voices, to string them together into a story that trembles with wonder and dread, a story that may never be complete, but one that reminds us. Humanity's history is not a simple line stretching from primitive to advanced, but a labyrinth of echoes, secrets, near-lost brilliance, broken civilizations, and impossible creations. And as long as these 15 artifacts continue to shine their silent light, we must walk that labyrinth with open minds and open hearts, ready to accept that the ancestors we thought we knew may have been only the latest chapter, not the beginning.